Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. We're very excited to be back after a short break. We've been recording some new episodes and creating some other new content that we think is going to be pretty helpful for you. But today we're picking back up where we left off with our interview with Roger Ritterbeck, who is the head of the aerospace division for Bureau Veritas. Actually, we're getting pretty close to the end of that first interview session that we had with Roger. But we are going to get him back into the studio here pretty soon to have another interview session with him. So this is a really, really good time. If you have questions about your current scenario, things that you would like to get an auditor's unique perspective on, how they might interpret things at your location there, send those questions our way, and we will be sure to incorporate those into the interview with Roger. We'd love to get answers out there for you that can help you. So that's it. Let's head into today's episode, and I will see you on the other side to talk about what is coming up next. Learn all about AS9100 Rev D with our new online course. This is the best resource to rapidly get you caught up on what's changed and what's new. Our course guides you through each part of the standard and teaches you how to implement it within your own organization. Each section is broken into bite-sized pieces, allowing you to work through the standard at your own pace. You can access the course as many times as you want, making this the #1 resource for when you need a quick refresh on a specific topic. Buy it today and get the guidance you need to achieve your Rev D certification.
One of the questions that recently came in was on configuration management. And when you look at configuration management in Rev C, there's a whole laundry list of things that you've got to do to meet those configuration requirements,
Sure.
including configuration audits and so forth. But when you look at the new requirement, it appears it reduces the requirement from what is in Rev C. I mean, that's the question that we're getting, and I've actually had several questions about that from our clients. Are they reducing what's required in configuration management?
Sure, that's a good question. It is reduced to some aspect, not eliminated, but in reality, most AS9100 certified customers are build-to-print shops, and many are small mom-and-pop build-to-print shops. So the existing requirements for configuration management are based on ISO 10007, which is a comprehensive guidance document on configuration management. In most cases, all those requirements don't apply to those small build-to-print shops. They need to have control over the production processes, incoming of raw material, manufacturing plans, inspection plans, things of that nature. There are no assembly buildups. There are no, things that require a full-blown configuration management system. Now, compared to that company that's building complex subassemblies or landing gear assemblies or full aircraft engines, that full configuration management system would still be expected to be in place.
Okay. And as you mentioned, many organizations are like, there's machine shops or they're shoot and ship type organizations, and they don't even have design, but many of them do. So I would presume that those requirements that were referenced in Rev C would still apply, as part of the configuration management.
Yeah, any organization responsible for design would see very little changes in the requirements of their existing configuration management program. Okay.
So for the clients that have been asking us, there's your answer. So our recommendation is to, don't can the configuration management program because it seems to be watered down in the new standard, because I don't think the auditors are going to be looking at it like that. Whether they're going to be looking at the complexity of your system, as Roger's explained to us. One of the questions that we do have that was regarding product safety, which is a new requirement for AS9100. It was in AS9110, but it's new for most folks in AS9100. And this seems confusing to some. It's not talking about personnel safety, is it?
No. What this refers to is for an organization building new product as compared to overhauling existing product, is that damage to product during its manufacturing process could ultimately cause a significant delay at the OEM. So for example, if an organization's building an aeroframe structure for a 737, there needs to be aspects within the management system to protect that product during its manufacturing. Fixturing, product handling, the tooling aspects, so that product isn't damaged. If you get 80% through the build of that aerostructure and it's damaged and it doesn't get to the OEM on time, that shuts down that assembly line. So
does that make them unhappy?
That usually makes the client unhappy or the customer unhappy. Yes.
Well, what would, if you're auditing the Acme Widget Company, which I'm the quality manager of the Acme Widget Company, what would I be able to show you that I'm considering product safety?
Mm-hmm. Well, the auditor would simply be out on the production floor, and if he's looking at a piece of hardware, and if the environment of the hardware comes into question, there's miscellaneous tools and scrap and everything laying around it, or if the product's not covered, why it's not being worked on, or any number of aspects that would bring into question whether that product is safe in its current environment.
Okay. I know in AS 9110 there's a requirement that you have product safety objectives and stuff like that, but I didn't see that in AS 9100. So would I be correct in saying it's not necessarily a requirement to have product safety objectives that would be measurable, but I would have to show a mindset of product safety. Mm-hmm. Is that?
Yeah, no. There's no current requirement in Rev D for product safety objectives. Okay. But product safety should be built into that manufacturing quality plan. Whether it's protective covering, secure fixturing so it doesn't fall off the fixture, whatever aspects may be involved.
Okay. Would there be specific things you would be looking for, like a FMEA, or just looking to see that as they go through the shop, that this appears to be a consideration the organization took? Sure.
Yeah. There should be in most robust manufacturing operations, the auditor would typically be able to, or the organization should be able to demonstrate a process FMEA, or at minimum an APQP plan that addresses those aspects of product safety.
APQP is brought over from the automotive industry, which is Advanced Product Quality Planning, and that's a whole methodology, but that's a whole topic for maybe another time, but it's an interesting methodology. One of the new requirements that we're also looking at is counterfeit parts. So can you talk to us a little bit about this requirement? And we're familiar with counterfeit parts and electronic portions, but this seems to be beyond that, doesn't it? Or?
Yeah, no, it's expanded out, and there's current aerospace subcommittees working on revising the standards for counterfeit parts. Currently, they address only electronic components, as Russ indicated, in AS 5553 and AS 6081.
I hate that he knows all these numbers.
And those are being revised as we speak. And 9100 really drives it across the board, not limiting it to electronic components. One common element of counterfeit parts is fasteners. In the aerospace world, fasteners go through a lot of special processes, qualification, metallurgical assessments in order to meet the requirements needed for aerospace. And many organizations are trying to pass just routine standard fasteners, which is very easy to do with the head marking on a fastener. It could be easily passed as an aerospace fastener. So the organization needs to have a program in place to prevent the use of counterfeit parts.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Sure.
All right, well, that'll do it for today. Remember, get your questions into us. We're going to have Roger back here very soon for another interview session. He's a wealth of information and a great resource to tap into. So we really encourage you, send us your questions and we'll make sure they get passed his way. In our next episode, we are going to be talking about how the new standard handles project management. And spoiler alert, what used to be optional is now going to be mandatory. So you'll definitely want to tune in and find out how this might affect you. So if you want to send us questions, whether it's for a topic you want us to see cover on the show here or something from Mr. Ritterbeck, you can do that a few ways. You can email us, you can hit us up on our website, you can leave a comment down below, whatever way is easiest for you. So we look forward to hearing from you, and until then, have a great week.